Hey, what's up guys, it's Henry Neal here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A20s versus the Samsung Galaxy A20. Which of these budget smartphones is best for you, and why should you go for any one of them? Coming up in this video. I'll also be giving away the Samsung Galaxy A20s to one lucky subscriber, so stay tuned to learn how you can enter for this giveaway. Let's get started. Alright, so let's set up this comparison with the similarities between both of this device. Both devices come with 4000 mAh battery, 3 GB of RAM, and 32 GB of internal storage. Although the A20s has a variant that comes with 64 GB internal storage and 4 GB of RAM. Both phones were launched in 2019, with the A20 being launched March and the A20s launched in September. Both phones have the same build quality, plastic in the back and Gorilla Glass 3 in the front, with the major difference between both of these phones being their display technology. On the A20 you have an AMOLED screen, while on the A20s you have an IPS LCD panel. Both phones look great and they feel good. This is a 6.4-inch display and this is a 6.5-inch display, making the PPI on the A20 just a tad bit higher than what you have on the A20s. In terms of the processor on both of these devices, the A20s comes with the Snapdragon 450 built on a 12nm architecture, and it comes with an Adreno 506 GPU, while the A20s comes with the Exynos 7884 processor built on a 12nm architecture as well, and comes with a Mali G71 GPU. Both phones look good and feel good, but if I was asked to pick one out of both of them, I'll pick the A20, seeing how compact it is and how rigid it feels in the hands. It feels more solid than the A20s feels. Now, in concluding the similarities between both of these phones, they both have their fingerprint scanners at the back of the phone and their rear-facing camera at the top left corner of the back of the phone. Let's talk about performance. Now, in terms of performance, both phones perform similarly, but the A20s takes an edge in terms of app load speeds. Now, it's not anything you would notice that much in day-to-day use, but it's there. If you put both phones side by side, you will see that the A20s launches apps faster. But is this a reason not to go for the A20? I do not really think so. I feel like both of these phones are really at par. There really isn't any difference. I think Samsung was just trying to make a model that came with their Exynos processor with the A20s, and that's why they had to make this phone. But if you take a look at the A20, everything about the A20 is also very solid in terms of its performance and its look. For gaming on both of these phones, throwing 3D heavy games on both of these phones might be a bit tasking for both phones because they are really entry-level devices, but playing those games in medium settings should give you a decent performance on both of them. Now, in terms of the battery longevity in both of these phones, the A20s I found out lasted much longer than the A20. Now let's talk about the cameras on both of these phones. Both of these phones have exactly the same selfie camera up front. They're 8 megapixel f2.2 cameras and they shoot exactly the same thing. But flipping over to the back, that's where you have the difference. On the A20s you have a triple camera setup consisting of a 13 megapixel main and an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, while on the A20 you have a 13 megapixel wide angle main camera and a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now, this means that the A20s will be able to shoot portrait shots, while you may not be able to shoot portrait shots with the A20s. And this is where the differences end, literally. Both phones shoot very similar looking images and they're quite good at how they handle exposure and the rest of all that stuff. But if you're looking to shoot portrait images with the blurry background known as bokeh, then the A20s is obviously your choice to go for. Now, consuming media on both of these phones, especially videos, you would gravitate towards the A20, and that's simply because of that AMOLED screen and its colors are much richer than what you have on the A20s. Again, another reason why you would gravitate towards the A20 is the fact that it's just a tad bit smaller than the A20s, 6.4 inches compared to 6.5 inches on the A20s, meaning you get a little bit more crispier images on the A20. Its PPI is about 268, while the PPI here is about 248, if I'm not mistaken. For both of these phones, in terms of media consumption, videos to be exact, I prefer the production on the A20 over the production on the A20s. Both phones are capped at 720p, so you have the same limitations when it comes to resolution. Now, in terms of connectivity and network bands, both phones have exactly the same band coverage, and both phones actually perform very similar in terms of network connectivity over mobile and Wi-Fi. Now, in terms of biometric unlock speeds on both of this device, I find that the A20s is consistently faster by a second or half a second over the A20. So if you're looking for speeds of unlocking your phone, you should definitely take a look at the A20s. In terms of music playback and music playback quality on both of these phones, they are at par. They both come with Dolby Atmos, and listening to music over plugged in earphones are really great on both of these phones, so you'd be really satisfied in terms of music production. So that was it. That was a quick look at the Samsung Galaxy A20s and the Samsung Galaxy A20. Both very similar phones, both released in 2019. The A20s going for about 55 to 56,000 naira, while the A20 going for about 54,500 naira, which is just about 500 naira difference between both of these phones. Again, I love both of these phones, but if I was to pick one, I would definitely go for the A20 because of that AMOLED display and because of the compact feel in the hand. This is just a little bit too big for me and doesn't feel solid in the hand. So guys, if you like this video, you know what to do. Leave a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do hit that subscribe button. Remember, I'll be giving away the Galaxy A20s to one lucky subscriber. So all you have to do in this video is like this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, leave a comment down below on why you would like to win the Galaxy A20s. And remember, this is an international giveaway, so wherever you are in the world, this will get to you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Henry Neal here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A20. Which of the phones is better and which should you go for? Coming up. Oh, man. Now unlocking using the front camera or the rear place fingerprint. Now unlocking using the front camera or the rear oh my goodness.